Marriage is one of the most beautiful commitments a person can make. It starts with love, excitement, and promises of forever. But sometimes, what begins as a fairy tale slowly turns into a nightmare. Sometimes, the love that once held two people together becomes the very thing that tears them apart. And when trust is broken, when suspicion takes over, the courtroom often becomes the final chapter. In today's episode of Divorce Files, we uncover the heartbreaking story of Michael and Emily, a couple who once believed they were soulmates, but ended up as strangers battling each other in court. Michael and Emily's love story began in college. Michael was ambitious, hardworking, and determined to build a successful future. Emily was bright, cheerful, and full of life. They met during a campus event, struck up a conversation, and soon they were inseparable. To their friends, they seemed like the perfect couple, always laughing together, finishing each other's sentences, supporting one another through every challenge. After graduation, Michael proposed, and Emily said yes without hesitation. Their families celebrated the wedding with joy, convinced that this love story was destined to last forever. The early years of marriage were just as beautiful as their love story. Michael and Emily built a home together. They traveled, went on late-night drives, cooked meals side by side, and dreamed about the future. When their first child was born, it felt like their family was complete. For a while, everything was picture perfect, the kind of life people post about on social media, the kind of life others envy. But slowly, reality began to creep in. Michael's business started growing, demanding more of his time and attention. Late nights at the office became routine. Emily, at home with the kids, found herself juggling endless responsibilities. She cooked, cleaned, helped with homework, and managed the household, often with little acknowledgement. The small, romantic gestures that once kept their bond alive, a text during the day, flowers for no reason, long talks before bed, became rare. Instead, silence began filling the spaces between them. Emily started to feel lonely, almost invisible in her own marriage. She wanted connection, but Michael was too exhausted to notice. And Michael, on the other hand, began feeling unappreciated. He believed he was working so hard for the family's future, but instead of gratitude, all he heard were complaints. Little by little, cracks began to appear in the marriage. Then came suspicion. Michael noticed Emily spending more time on her phone. She would smile at messages, quickly lock her screen, and put the phone aside when he walked into the room. At tea, first he ignored it, telling himself he was just imagining things. But the uneasiness grew stronger every day. Meanwhile, Emily felt that Michael was becoming emotionally distant. He seemed distracted, preoccupied, as if his mind was somewhere else. She wondered if his late nights were really about work or something else. Trust, once broken, doesn't shatter all at once. It erodes, piece by piece. And that's exactly what happened in their marriage. One evening, when Emily left her phone on the table, Michael gave in to temptation. He picked it up and scrolled through her messages. What he saw left him devastated. There were texts from an unknown number. Sweet, intimate, and unmistakably personal. Good morning, beautiful. I miss you already. Last night was amazing. His hands trembled, his chest tightened. In that moment, the woman he thought he knew, the woman he trusted with. His life suddenly felt like a stranger. When Michael confronted her, Emily froze. She didn't deny the messages, but she insisted they didn't mean what he thought. She said it was just an old friend, someone she leaned on for emotional support. She claimed it wasn't physical, just a friendship. But for Michael, those words were nothing but betrayal wrapped in excuses. How could a husband believe those messages were innocent? His trust was gone, and once trust disappears, love rarely survives. From that night on, the house turned into a battlefield. Every word sparked an argument. Every glance carried resentment. The laughter that once filled their home was replaced by shouting, anger, and bitter silence. Even their children began to notice. They saw the cold stares, heard the late-night arguments, and felt the tension in the air. What should have been a safe and loving home became a place of fear and sadness. Eventually, Michael decided he couldn't live like this anymore. He filed for divorce. But Emily wasn't willing to let him paint himself as the victim. In her response, she accused Michael of having another woman in his life. She claimed his late nights at work weren't always about business. She believed that if he had truly been committed to their marriage, he wouldn't have left her feeling so unloved and alone. Now, instead of trying to repair what was broken, both of them were tearing each other down, brick by brick. When the case reached the courtroom, it was no longer about love or forgiveness. It was about blame. Michael and Emily stood on opposite sides, not as husband and wife, but as enemies. Their eyes were red from crying, their voices filled with anger, but neither side was willing to back down. The judge, after listening to their accusations, said something that made the entire courtroom fall silent. This is not just about the two of you. This is about your children. This is about the destruction of a family that once had the potential to last. Marriage is not only about love, it's about responsibility, patience, and trust. And once those things are broken, divorce becomes the only option. Michael broke down and whispered through his tears. All I ever wanted was honesty, but all I got was betrayal. Emily, sobbing, replied, all I ever wanted was love, but all I got was loneliness. And with that, their love story came to an end. The judge finalized the divorce. What began as a fairy tale ended with 2 signatures on divorce papers. But here's the truth. This isn't just Michael and Emily's story. This is the story of thousands of couples who once promised forever, only to watch their love crumble when trust and communication disappeared. Marriages rarely collapse overnight. Most of the time, it's the small things, the neglect, the distance, the failure to listen, that slowly tear it apart. Divorce may provide a new beginning, but it leaves behind scars that never fully heal. And for the children, the scars run even deeper. They carry the weight of broken families, the silence of empty homes, and the memories of parents who once loved each other but couldn't survive the test of time. So now, we ask you, who was truly at fault here? Was it Michael, for not forgiving and for letting his anger consume him? Was it Emily, for seeking comfort outside her marriage instead of addressing the problems at home? Or was it both of them, for allowing distance and silence to destroy what they once swore to protect forever? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to hear more true stories of love, betrayal, and heartbreak, make sure to subscribe to Divorce Files. Every week, we bring you another shocking case that reveals just how fragile marriage can be when trust is broken. Because in the end, love may start a marriage, but trust is what keeps it alive.